Hi friends, today I'm going to be taking the topic cache coherence. So before going into the definition of cache coherence, let's understand why we need a cache memory. What is a cache memory? So different types of memory are the secondary storage, which is the hard drive. Then we have random access memory, and then we have cache memory. So we have three different types of memory. So why do we have to use cache memory is because what is happening is, like, for today's demand, the CPU needs to execute millions of instructions in a very small amount of time. So for that it requires a faster memory. So that is the reason we make use of cache. So that's the reason we make use of cache memory. So this is the fastest memory amongst all the existing memories, right? So there are three different types of cache memories, which is L1 cache, L2 cache, and L3 cache, right? So in this cache memory, we have frequently accessed data. So the data that is frequently used by the CPU will be put in the cache memory so that it can be accessed in a faster manner. So that's the reason. So there are three levels: L1, L2, L3. So the level 1 and level 2 are private to each core. So each core will have its own L1 and L2 cache, and this L3 cache is shared amongst all the cores. So let's understand the definition of cache coherence. So what is a cache coherence let's say in a multiprocessor or a multi-core system, inconsistencies occur in the same level of memory hierarchy or adjacent levels of memory hierarchy. So for example, the main memory and cache memory might have inconsistencies, that different inconsistent copies of the same object. So what is happening? Let's say there is a value x. So there is a shared value x. So in the cache memory, the value of that x is x1, and in the main memory it is x. So you're having two different copies of the same object. So this is resulting in the inconsistency. So before we explore that, we look into examples, it's better that we understand the definition of write through and write back. So write through. Now let me just read it out. So after this I'll explain you step by step of how this write through is carried out. So the write that is made in the cache memory will be immediately updated in the main memory when it comes to write through. And when it comes to write back, the write operations are made only in the cache memory, and it will be made in the main memory only when that corresponding cache line is flushed. So let's just understand this. Let me show you some examples. Generally the flow is like this. There is a processor, there is this cache memory, there is this main memory, or let's say RAM. So now if processor requires a value, it will first go check the cache memory. So if it is not present in the cache memory, it means that it is a read miss. It is trying to read miss. So it is trying to fetch a value, or it is trying to read a value, and that value is not present in the cache memory, then that is known as the read miss. From the cache memory, now again it's going to go, and it's not present in the cache memory, so it will check the RAM. So if it is present in the RAM or the main memory, that value will be passed on to the cache memory and then to the processor, and then finally the processor will do some processing on that. Now let's say I'm going to be now first explaining write through. So we need to listen carefully in order to understand this concept. So now let's say processor is requesting for the value A. Okay, so it is requesting for the value A. So it will go check the, what is happening is we will go and check the cache memory. It is not there. So now again we'll go to the RAM, and here there is A. What will happen from that, this RAM will send that value A to the cache memory. So it will go here, and from here again it will go to the processor. Done. Now what will happen is processor will do the processing, and then it will write the value as 20. Okay, let's say the A value is written as 20. So the write that is made in the cache memory, so if you see as per the definition also, write operations in cache memory is immediately changed or updated in the main memory. Okay, so yeah, so I'm sorry. So the write that is made over here in the cache memory is now immediately changed in the main memory. So here also it is getting updated, is immediately updated. Okay, now similarly, let's say it is demanding for a value. Now I'm doing write through only. When I'm doing write back, I'll let you guys know. Okay, so now it's demanding for the value, let's say B. Okay, so now this B, so it's not present in the cache memory. Again, now it will go to the main memory and it will find out this B, and then it will bring back here, and then it will put it here, and then it will go here. So now it's doing the processing, and it is writing it as 30. Okay, so now the write that is made in the cache memory is immediately updated. The write that is made in the cache memory is immediately changed or updated in the main memory. So 30. Okay, now again let's see one more. This is also using write through only. Okay, so it's demanding for the value, or it's requesting for C. It's not present in the cache memory. Now it will go to the main memory, it will find out the C, it will get that C, and it will be here, and it is doing the processing and writing the value as 40. Okay, done. It's writing the value as 40. Now what is happening is, again, the changes or the write that is made in the cache memory is immediately updated in the main memory. Okay, done. Now let's see now I'm going to be showing you write back. Okay, so this step is write back, understand it. So let me just remove this, and I'm going to write. I'm doing it in the same diagram, so I'm changing the title as write back. Now I'm going to do it with write back. So now let's say that the processor is demanding the value D. Okay, yeah, so processor is demanding the value D. It's not present in the cache memory, so it will go to the main memory, and then it will find out that D is present, so it will be present here. Okay, and now let's see D, and then it will write this value as 50. Okay, yeah, so write operation is performed on it, and then it is written as 50. And what is the definition saying? The definition is clearly saying that, let me take another color so that it's clearly saying that the write operations are only to the cache. Okay, the main memory is only updated when the corresponding cache is flushed. Okay, let me tell you what it is. Okay, so the write operations are applied only to the cache memory. Okay, the main memory will be updated only when the corresponding cache line is flushed. Okay, now what happens? What is the meaning is that, now let's say this is done, and now the processor is demanding for E, but the cache memory is full. So as you can already tell, cache memory is smaller in size than that of the RAM. but it is faster in processing. Okay, now there is no space in this cache memory, so what we usually do is we'll remove the last inserted value. Okay, so we are flushing this value, we're removing this value. Okay, so when this value is being removed, that is when when this value is being removed, that is when it will be updated in the RAM. So now what happens is, so it is the process demanding for E, there was this D, right? Yeah, okay, it's demanding for E, it's going here and it's checking that there is, I'm sorry, this is not updated yet. Yeah, so it'll find out that there is an E, but there's no space in the cache memory. So what will happen is you will remove this value. So when you're removing this value, you're updating it over here, and then you're replacing E over here, and that's it, done. So only when the cache memory is full, that particular value will be removed or replaced or flushed, right? So that is when the main memory write operations will be carried out. So the write operations will be carried out initially only for the cache memory, and for the main memory it will be carried out only when the corresponding cache is flushed, cache line is flushed. Okay, so I'm hoping this is very clear. Now let's see the example, right? So let's see, there is a processor, there are caches here, there is a bus here, and there is a shared memory. Okay, so this is before update. So this X is a shared variable, and what is happening here is P1, the processor P1 and P2 are referencing this shared variable. So here the data is consistent only. Now let's see the ones which we have seen, that write through and everything. So let's see that. So let's see write through. So there is P1, P2. There is okay, let me first draw this. There is a bus and there is a shared memory, right? Yeah, so there is a bus and there is a shared memory. So this is the processor, this is the cache memory, there is bus and there is shared memory. So initially what is happening, the shared data X is being referenced by this and this. Now what is happening is this processor P1 will update the this value, so it will update this X value. Okay, so it is writing it. Okay, so this processor P1 is basically going to be applying this write operation, okay, onto this value X. So it will write it as X1. It will write the value as X1. So once the write operation has been performed in the cache memory, according to write through, this change will be immediately updated in the shared memory or the main memory. So here also it will get updated. Now what is happening is, so what we've done here is basically the processor has applied the or changed the value that is there in the cache memory. So that is nothing but it has applied the write operation. So the write operation, as soon as it is applied on the cache memory, will be immediately reflected or updated in the main memory as well. So that is what is happening. Now what will happen is, there is an inconsistency between the value that is stored in the cache memory and the main memory. See here, so this value is X1, but here the value is X. Okay, so we are having two different copies of the same value. So this is resulting in the inconsistency. Okay. So yeah, I've written it down as well. So the main memory and the cache memory will have different values, and hence it will result in the inconsistencies between these two. So now let's see write back. What happens in write back? So there is P1, there is P2, there is a cache memory, there is a bus out here, and there is a shared memory, right? Okay, this is the processor, or you can also put cores over here. Okay, so you can also put in cores over here. Okay, and instead of processor you can put cores as well. Okay, there is a cache memory, and there is this bus, and there is shared memory or main memory here. Done. Okay, now again what is happening, this the same previous exact scenario, x is a shared variable. Okay, so this is a shared variable, and they were being referenced in both processor 1 and processor 2. Okay, now what is happening is now processor P1 is writing a new value into the cache, which is x1. So it is performing the write operation on the x1. So initially in the previous one we've already seen, in write back what actually happens is the write operation will be only updated in the cache memory and not in the main memory. In the main memory it will be updated only when the corresponding cache line is flushed, right? So what will happen here? So this change will not be, so according to the definition of like write back, the changes that are made in the cache memory are not immediately reflected in the main memory. It is done only when the cache memory is full. So we've seen it, right? We've already seen it in the previous example, in the previous slides. So that is the reason this will remain like that itself. It will remain x. So it will be so this value will change only when the updated value is replaced, okay, or invalidated. So only when the updated value is replaced or invalidated, that is when the value in the main memory will change. So these are the inconsistencies that are basically occurring. So in order to avoid this, we have two different protocols that we need to use. This Snoop based cache coherence, and we have directory based cache coherence. So let's see that in the next video. So if you liked this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.